Oh, got it.
Hello and welcome to the Ascension Forecast. And we're here again to share our insights on the frequencies, especially after the equinox and what's been going on. So we're going to give you some insights on how it's been feeling for us. But the main discussion point today is the vibration you hold defines your life. So we're going to be talking about how that's coming up for people and how we can work with that. So grab yourself a cup of tea and come and sit with us. We'll be starting in a few minutes. And just think of this as time out for you to sit down and focus on your future and what you want for your life. Make it a moment for you to journal, connect with the energies we're talking about, and just see how you can use them to build a better life for yourself. So I think everything's all live here. Let me just check over on the... Yeah, everything going okay?
Yep, everything's great. I was just watching my YouTube. My YouTube self looks really yellowy compared to my computer. So we're just watching that.
Better than when you were black and white. So everybody's color is a bit odd today. Yes. Oops, need to put Marta on there.
Hi, Marta.
Hello.
You're on live because we've started live already. Okay, so yeah, you're hidden now. You're okay. Before you say anything. All right, so I'll just hand over to Alicia to do the introductions.
Beautiful. Well, hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to the Galactic Sisters Ascension Energy Forecast. We're excited to be here with all of you today. If you're connecting with us for the first time, my name is Alicia, with my mom, Eva, co-creatrixes of Crystalline Ascension, with our Galactic sister, Trudy, White Star Soul Guidance. If you're catching the live on YouTube or here on Zoom, please do say hello in the comments. And if you'd like to share your New Earth vision in the comments or in the chat. And also a warm welcome to those of you who are watching the replay. If you want to hashtag replay, so then that way we can circle back around later on and say hello to you as well. And we invite you to join us on our Ascension Energy Forecast, as we're going to be sharing the quantum 5D ingredients available so that you can connect to these energies and embody them, try them on for size. And we're going to be discussing the priority of the 5D soul lesson of the week, the challenges we are facing, and the strengths that we can draw on. We are facilitating this to accelerate the ascension path for those interested in being a visionary leader or a new earth leader through collaboration.
Excellent. So some people have just been joining us on Zoom. That's what you saw people flashing up for. So we do a mastermind at the end of the Zoom so that we discuss in more detail what we've covered. So we're only live for 30 minutes and then we switch over to Zoom with the attendees there. So if any of you guys ever want to join us on that, then just message us and we'll send you an invite. It's a limited event so that we can make sure that we've got time to speak to everybody one-to-one. Cool, so that's everybody set up. So the equinox energies, how is it all for you guys? What are you all feeling today? It does feel like it's lightened up a little bit, like we finally passed through something. So it is feeling a bit lighter, but like with anything, you know, the equinox delivered this huge energetic shift. But now is, what are you doing with it? It's sitting there almost like it's on a shelf waiting for you to do something with it. But what are you actually doing with it right now? How are you actively integrating it, working with it, raising your consciousness with it? So share in the comments how you've been working with that energy. And we'd love to know to see how that's been going for you. So for us, it's about that holding on to that vibration. Like, how can we constantly be upgrading our vibration? And the challenge of Soul Lesson this month is really about how do you get to the point where you are so in touch with your physical body that you can keep and maintain a frequency that is the perfect frequency for defining your life. That's kind of the problem that we're facing this month. We've been given all these beautiful frequencies. It's now like, how are we going to work with them so that we constantly hold it in our space, that we can develop our life? And the challenges are going to be letting go of past experiences. So things where you said to yourself, oh, last time I tried this, this happened, or I always fail, or I'm always this. Any of those identities or experiences are going to be hard for you to say, well, actually, I am the master of my vibration and I can change that, and I can just push away and close the door on the old stuff and change. And that's the kind of the solution. It can be as simple as that. However, we know that if it was as simple as that, you'd already be doing it, which you're not. So like any of us, there must be a process in there, that transformation that takes you from where you are now to integrating those energies and getting to that point where you master your frequency. So that's what we're going to be discussing today, to give you an idea. Oh, there's a lady here asking for an invite.
I've sent the link.
Oh, you sent it. All right.
Hello, I've sent the link right on there.
Well done. I was going to say, can we do that? I was just thinking how I'm going to do that. Cool.
Yeah.
So yes, you've got a link sent through. So you can join us on Zoom now, because we'll just make sure your camera's off when you come in. And then after we finish with the live, we'll close the live down and then we'll spend some time with you guys. So nice to meet you, Monique. So the question for us is, what were we doing? Let's start with that. What did we do with the energies over the weekend? How do we integrate it?
Okay, I'll start if you'd like me to. As last time, when I was getting the Equinox frequencies that were coming in, the upgrades that were coming in, it was that white buffalo calf woman, those peace frequencies, bringing in that rainbow child essence, and utilizing the divine father as the architecture to support that coming in. So me and my family, we really like to come into circle together every week. So when the Equinox came in, we created a little mini sacred drum circle. We called in the frequencies of the peace frequencies, invited in white buffalo calf woman, and really had these rainbow child essences come in, and we drummed to it, we danced to it, and that's how we allowed it to come more into our body, and just allowing everyone to share their visions and their experiences. And I had asked everyone to share, I have 4 children, by the way, so then that way I understand the 4 different age groups of what they saw, what they felt, and it was like they felt that shift, they felt more peaceful, they felt more grounded, more aligned. The one had felt more silliness, more that joyous, that childlike essence come in. And he's my more shyer one. So to see that come out with him during this session just felt really, you could see that rainbow child essence come right into his body very nicely and very smoothly. Yeah, so.
That's kind of really what it's about, isn't it? We have an energy come in, it opens up parts of us that we've forgotten or that have not been active. And then you see it manifesting in your behaviors and your habits and your thoughts, which is fantastic. And especially in such young kids, imagine having these skills as a kid, life would be so different. How about you, Ava? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, what was that?
I thought Alicia was going to say something. No, but it's
Oh, okay. So for me, the energy that was really coming through and the message that was coming through is that our lives can change in an instant nanosecond, whether it's positive or negative. And they were really showing me that this week. And what it led me to do is really something I haven't done for years, was get up and move my energy throughout my body. Like I've been really listening. There's messages that are coming through my body, and I'm getting up and actually taking that responsibility. Like I said, like it's been sitting stagnant for years, and it just felt so good, just moving the body, moving the energy. And the other thing that was coming through at nighttime is, how can I speak with my mental energy body? How can it communicate to my feeling energy body, right? My emotional. And then how could I bring this down into my physical body of what I want and really create the manifestations? Like I just felt it coming out with vitality out of my hands. Like I can manifest anything I want if so I choose to. So it's always a decision there as well. And these were the messages that was coming through for me this week.
Excellent. So yeah, you guys have got movement. Marta saying, I want to move my body to help energy shift, feeling better and stronger. So yeah, I think for us, we spent the weekend doing movements and bringing the energies in that way, and sort of really helping it shift through the body. So that's really been, I think, an important part. We saw that and predicted that last week, that movement was going to be important this week to help people integrate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think also for me, though, there was this like Dreamtime insights changed a bit. And I've always had like really galactic type insights that are wake up and you go, so what do I do with that? And you write it in a book and you wait for it. And I had 2 quite clear, this real kind of very clear message. I remember waking up thinking, that was easy. How? From my experience of what's been before. And it was things like a lot of dots were joined up. So there was an old wound that suddenly appeared. And when I was healing the wound, I could feel the physical shift in my body. At the same time, it was quite an intense physical movement. So that showed me that it was important. But normally you'd have to actively go to a healing session and ask for that to be healed and then go through the process. And this was just like, I woke up, it said, do this, I did it, it was gone. And I was like, okay, so we've definitely integrated some new energies for that to be happening. And then the other one was almost like, it was going back and saying, you know, you were doing all these individual posts, and that each time you wrote them, you wondered where they were going. And I said, I'm going to show you now. This is how they all join up. You were learning all of these things because it made up this whole package, and they're all new techniques that you can use. And it's funny because I didn't even think of them as techniques at the time. I was just sharing them thinking, you know, that's what they've told me to share, I'll share it. And now I see actually it's a toolkit. And it's that kind of realization that's coming through. And that's the simplicity part, that if you're open and you're willing to listen and you've done the work to be a clear channel and you've done the work to understand, then that's what's been happening, or what can happen for people. So I don't know how many others had insights like that over this last week. And I'm going to ask Alicia, because she's got some symptoms that she's seen coming up, because if you haven't been having that, then you might have been having the opposite, which Alicia's going to speak about in a moment.
Yeah, actually for myself, I had really deep-seated back pain, which I don't usually ever have, but this was in the muscle. So I had to really work in and really focus in on embracing my shadow aspects of guilt and really bring out that. However, when I was tuning into the frequencies, I was seeing a lot of digestive issues happening for a lot of people that were having this energy come in, but they weren't able to integrate it, causing those digestive issues to happen, to flow in. And this frequency was all to do with that solar plexus, the solar frequencies coming in, and the color yellow. Hence, maybe that's why I look yellow on my camera here. So it has a lot to do with all that. But I was seeing these beautiful essences come in that hold a lot of those abundance frequencies. But yeah, if you're having digestive issues, you know, that's a sign of that you're unable to integrate it more easily.
Yeah, because I don't know if people know, but when we talk in spiritual terms, we use lots of metaphors. But one of the metaphors we use for information and energy is the digestion process of integration, elimination, assimilation. If you take that and apply to information or energy, then you can find that you might have a blockage in that. That's that particular pathway that's stopping you benefit. You know, you can eat food, but if you don't absorb it, you can't use the energy. It's that kind of logic that you can apply to information and energy. So what Alicia's seeing there is a digestion issue, is the physical manifestation of that in your body, because your body is unable to integrate the energies properly. So obviously, you know, medically separate, we're talking energy here,
Yes.
but if you've got any issues, then go to the doctors, you know, we'll always say that. But this is just as a metaphor that physical ailments can be translated into. How about you, Ava?
I wasn't having really any physical symptoms. I was having, I think, more mental, emotional symptoms, like, you know, the deep need to surrender.
You tend to feel more the planet's kind of pain as opposed to people's, don't you? So
I did, and it was bringing me to, I started looking up plant medicine, you know, like how to really start using the plant medicine for different ailments inside of the body. Yeah, so that's basically where I was pulled to this week, is just more research and just more surrendering.
but even that, you know, did the research kind of pop up through insights? Was it more descriptive than it's been before?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ease and the flow, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So has anybody entered anything else that I've missed? Have you got any comments coming in?
Not that I see, not on YouTube.
I was just checking in case my screen wasn't scrolling. So what has all this got to do with your vibration? Well, of course, your vibration, like food, you know, your body is what you eat. Well, it's also the frequencies that you can consume. And we spend a lot of time every week upgrading our energy, especially since this wave has come in, which was probably since last February. We've been getting together like all summer. It's almost every week we get together and we're integrating each layer of energies, and it takes us 3 hours. We spend 3 hours to bring the energies in, because we have to sometimes formulate it and structure it and make it human friendly so we can consume it. And once we've done the process, that's what we then put into our work to help others do the same. So when we're doing that, my vibration really depends on my ability to do that kind of work. So we were talking just before we came on and thinking of an analogy for this, and it's a bit like cooking. So if you can't cook, then you're more likely to go to a fast food joint and get a takeaway meal quickly, because that will be the easy solution. However, is it nourishing for your body? That's debatable. I'm not going to criticize fast food, but let's just take it as an analogy. It's debatable. However, if you cooked your own food, then you could make sure that it did contain all the nourishment you needed. But to do that, you're going to have to learn to cook. Now, that might seem difficult because it's something you've never done before, and you're going to have to go through the process of learning all the aspects of cooking and ingredient blending and mixing, and all that will take time. So when you're there weighing the options, like which queue are you going to get in, the one for the cookery class, which is going to involve your time, your investment, and you having to take responsibility for yourself and learn something, or are you going to just walk into the fast food joint and grab something quick? And you can see how the outcome is your health going to be knocked by the decision you make at this point? So this kind of fits into the simplicity part, because when we're talking about simplicity, we're not talking about choosing the fast food option, which is like taking the easy, simple solution. We're saying that actually, could you not approach the cooking scenario? Could you not approach the cooking with a much simpler view of excitement, expansion, interesting in learning something new, knowing that is part of your journey as opposed to a obstacle you have to overcome to get to your destination? And that actually is a very simplistic path, isn't it? So have you got any experiences, guys, that you want to share on that? So just thinking of that kind of like flow and how it feels. And it's a bit, if you think about it, it's a bit like you said it earlier, Alicia, the way you did your family weekend. You don't think about it. You don't consciously think, oh, there's a complex thing I have to do. It's just integrated into your family. It's the way you operate. It's a habit. It's a behavior. And you think, if I said to you, oh, wow, that's amazing, you'll probably think, but we do this so naturally and so easily. It's so simple. Mm-hmm. And yet to everybody else, it's not that simple. That saying, common sense is not that common. Well, there's the same with energy too. What we know about energies and what we apply to our lives, lots of people don't necessarily know that. It doesn't mean it's complicated. It just means we don't know it yet. So if you guys are struggling and not finding that vibration, then how are we going to raise that vibration up? So obviously, the work that Alicia and Ava do are all to do with the temple body and getting the architecture right. Do you want to expand on that a bit?
I'm just trying to think of what I expand on in I feel like that is a daily integration where we're bringing in new architecture into the body in order for the energy to flow very smoothly into the body, for your higher self, your soul, your multidimensional essences to come more smoothly into the body and be integrated into your whole body, not just one part of the body, and just releasing anything that is no longer serving you. So filling up your body with an energetic frequency that's going to serve your body and serve your earth walk journey now, versus that disconnection.
So, if you need any help with that kind of work, then that's what Alicia and Ava do. They specialize in that side. My work tends to specialize more on the soul and making sure the soul is comfortable in the body and connecting to that higher consciousness that comes with the soul. So you can see that between the three of us, we're covering, because Ava's got the landscape more, the planetary kind of aspect. So she brings another dimension in. So you can see the three of us are working on three different levels when we're doing this work. So again, it's not simple, no, but is it easy? Again, once we understood our unique frequencies, it was easier because we each knew what our specialty was. We weren't trying to compare what we saw with each other's. We just knew that if we came up with different answers, it was because we were just looking at it from a different lens, and we could then, once we understood which lens we were looking at, we could apply it. And anybody can do this. It's not a specialist psychic skill or a specialist healer skill. This is just understanding your own inner voice. And this is where the soul comes in for me, is understanding the language of your soul so that you can communicate with it and use it. And when you get insights from the land, that comes through as some freaky stuff, doesn't it, Ava? Between turtles and icebergs and...
Yeah, and they're still showing up, but I just, what you were saying is like, I'm just thinking of my client this week, the understanding, and that's a process, right? It doesn't come all of a sudden. And when you don't understand when you're how can I say it? It took her years to get to the understanding of what, like, her parents, the effects of her parents, like having her parents' energy inside of her did to her. So this is where it was very interesting, because we were talking about doors, right? And when I was going into her body, into her hips and into her pelvis area and everything, they were showing me that I had to open 2 doors for her. And she had to release her mother and father. And, we spoke about why and everything. And she actually had to ask the keys back from them so that she could lock them out, now that they were no longer invited into her energy. But this was almost like a 2-year process to help her continuously understand what holding them inside of her body was doing to her. Right. So it was a beautiful awakening.
I think now we're getting those insights a bit quicker, so that for people who have done the work, we can help clients achieve that quicker now. I think it was an element of, I sort of see it as that a lot of people were asleep waiting for this moment in time, for this equinox to come. And the pains that we were suffering and feeling were part of our awakening. And yes, it didn't fix straight away because there was more to learn. Whereas now that we're in this space, now we're being asked a different question. And this kind of goes again to the simplicity. The questions have changed. It's not about what you have to learn now. It's about what you're ready to do. How are you ready to move into the new you? How are you ready to step into this new frequency and start changing your vibration? It's like you've been given all the tools. Now here you are, Equinox energies come in. We're moving into that age of Aquarius. It's now like, what are you going to do now? And a lot of us don't actually know what to do. We don't have that connection to how to work with our vibration and how to manifest from this deep core of our DNA. Because, this week I've been working on DNA and how similar stories, how we can have that kind of programming in our DNA level. And whilst we're working on energetic templates and chakras, there's also this DNA level to come together. And it's like there's these new insights popping up all the time, just making it easier and easier to pull together the full solution, because we are now ripe and ready to break out of that old paradigm and into the new. So thinking about that process is really important. Is like, there are people like ascension specialists like us who have been through that already and have brought ourselves to this point that now you can see that we're feeling this quicker in understanding coming in that we can now apply to clients. So you guys, how has it been for you? I can see a few comments coming in. There's Jenny saying to Ava that, yeah, she had mentally tired as well and felt better after the dancing yesterday. That's cool. And Marta saying, yeah, I love the language of the soul. Oh, and that reminds me of the language of the soul. So today I was on LinkedIn and I was thinking how odd it is with the language that we use, right? So we know that part of the issue we have is the language of the soul and the language of the etheric realm is difficult. I read it online, we understand it online. And yet, if I said I channeled frequencies and then described them, and then I went and I stood next to a poet who's written this really abstract poem and said, I channel poetry, that poet will probably have a better reception of their creativity than we will for what we channel. And yet they're both a channeling of an energy that's been just the form that it's been expressed in. So a poetry obviously is a poem, it's words, so the human mind can understand words, even if the poem doesn't like logically connect in its sentences. The words, we have these sort of poems now, we just throw random words together that works. And it's the same with art, if you put a piece of art out and somebody says, what is that? And you say, oh yeah, it was my inspiration came from, we accept that. And now we're moving into the space where we need to have that same appreciation for energy and frequencies, especially if we want to be that, like understanding that our vibration is our life. And that's what we've been offering as well in this every Monday when we come together to explain the Ascension Forecast. What we're doing is trying to share the language with other people so they can start learning it too. So Alicia's good at this. Let's do a bit, I politely ask, can you do a bit of light language? Because that's a frequency.
For sure, definitely. Is there anything specific I'm going to be tuning into, or just kind of open up the field?
Something that they'll do with language that'll help, like how a frequency explained in light language.
All right, so I'm just going to bring in, because I was tuning into that beautiful golden yellow frequency that is too. So just feeling this into your Just bring your hands to your heart if you'd like to, and just breathe into your heart space, because I'm going to speak to you from heart to heart, soul to soul now, for you to experience this in your own way, knowing that you have free will to decide whether you resonate with it or not. Ara shantokuya yala sentu yala tianata, ara torianokuya, akare inata yala tokuya nataya toku naya toshtayata, ulala yanokuya no kudukayata, inalatu yala shanti, sarakuriana ayatokuya tayata. Just breathe this in, breathe in these frequencies if you so choose. Little bit of the solar coding and frequencies coming in through that yellow ray. And I'm opening up that space to invite everyone to share how they felt during that. And that's just something small, but knowing that even those small words has this much of a frequency and more, all packed into those light words, light frequencies.
I'm just checking, you might have broken our live stream.
Really? Hold on. It says YouTube live.
I'm saying preparing live stream over there. Maybe this was translating what you said. It was preparing the live stream of frequencies. So that's an example of one language of energy.
Yes.
Ava, do you have one, do you think? Do
You want me to speak? Pardon?
Want me to give you a minute?
You want me to speak light language?
Whatever language, whatever is, like, if you had to describe an energy frequency right now, how would you describe it?
Oh my goodness.
I'll give you a minute if you want. This could be a question to anybody listening, you know, how would you describe some of these frequencies? Share with us how you describe them.
I would describe them as, I call him my shamanic queen. And I ask for a lightning bolt of golden coming down through my body, going down to the ground. This is taking your claim on this planet. It's putting down it's a beautiful, I'm not calling it a wand. It's like a staff with a beautiful ball, and just really claiming yourself here on this planet. And just breathe that in and let the lightning bolt come through the staff and come back up through your feet and just into your heart, and really feel that boldness about you, boldness of being a human on this planet.
Nice, thank you. So again, another type of frequency, but you could hear just in, you know, even if you want to get a feeling, you could hear the difference in those. And I think some of the reasons why we prefer language in English is because we're not connected to our bodies and our feelings. And if we were more connected to the feeling of us, we'd be able to understand more. And I do the translation, and I tend to put the more logical bits in that help the brain, but it's still a feeling that it comes from, even if I describe it as words. So when it comes to you guys really mastering your frequency in your life, it is about playing with the energies and playing with how to translate it, and whether you want to like draw it, whether you want to dance it, whether you want to sing it, whether you just want to make sounds. The more you do that kind of play, the more likely you are to connect with the frequencies, and then you'll get these insights coming through, and you'll sense them more into the body. So I did a post on LinkedIn, and what I did was I wrote the esoteric kind of things of what we did, and I tried to translate it into English. So I said, like, on the weekend, we did a dancing with energy, and we were activating the DNA so we could write a new life book into the DNA and release all the old contracts and vows. So that's quite esoteric, and that's logical compared with what it could be saying. And I said it basically meant that I'm claiming back my life and deciding what I'm doing next. But it's not the same. The energy of what I said the secondly is like, oh yeah, I heard that, that's boring, and off they go. But really the intention behind it was a feeling, not what I said. And if you tune into that DNA level, it instantly takes you down into your body, into a deeper level, because your mind goes, DNA, that's those little tiny things inside me. So you've gone deeper into your body. And then when you think about that clicking and being reprogrammed, the changes happening inside your stomach, inside your being, as opposed to your head hearing the words and just logically processing it. So that's what we can share with you today, because we're coming up to the end of time. So the one thing I did want to say is that this will be the last one this month for a while, where the three of us are coming together. We're going to start separating it because there's not enough time in half an hour. So we will come together once a month on the first week of the month to do this sort of sharing, so you can hear 3 different viewpoints. But if you want more of this topic overall, then I'll continue on the Mondays doing these sort of sessions, but with the soul orientated context. And then Alicia and Ava are going to continue with their light language and their temple, light body temple architecture, which is going to be called
Sacred Soul Sparkles.
I didn't even want to attempt that.
No worries.
That was like a tongue twister. I was going, oh, no, that's not going to come out right. So that's going to be done then. So there'll be a gap in between, and then you'll do yours on that week. So you'll be with me on the Monday, then you'll have a gap, and then you'll do the one then the following week. So make sure you assign to both our pages. So that I'm actually Trudy Marie Williams on YouTube, and then a Crystalline Ascension as well. So you can watch these 2 shows then in parallel. So like I said, we'll be together on the first Monday of the month, and then I'll carry on mine for the next 3. And then there's an extra show now that you can join on Crystalline Ascension's website as well. YouTube page. Yeah, get it right.
Beautiful.
So I think that's everything for today. So what have we got? Jenny saying she loves that name. And thank you for Ava for that strong and powerful transmission. Marta's also saying strong, Ava, thank you. And for Alicia, I could feel my heart radiating out and the joy came in, thank you. And what else did I see? Oh, and that's cool that we've got the split coming up.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's everything. So we'll just sign off for now. I'll hand over to Ava.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your time with us. If there's anything you would enjoy us to speak about, please put that in the chat. And those who signed up for the masterclass Zoom link can remain on to gather with other new Earth visionaries who are ready to ground in expanded visions. There are several ways that you can stay connected with us. Our Facebook pages, and we have a Facebook community, Higher Consciousness Living, Stepping Boldly into the Unknown. Our YouTube channels at Crystalline Ascension and at Trudy Marie Williams. And if you want more guidance working with the ascension energies we covered today, just get in touch with us. But once again, Trudy did speak about how we will be separating our Mondays. So we will leave you the links for that as well. And once again, we thank you for sharing your time and thoughts with us. And we send you off with gratitude and much love till next time.
Excellent. All right, thank you guys for being with us live. And anybody on the replay, do put in any of the answers to the questions we ask, because we do come back and check for them. I know it might be a little bit delayed by the time YouTube tells us, but please do put some comments in. All right, so I'll say goodbye to everyone now. Bye, guys.